The suit of armour is empty. The helmet on this Italian suit of armour, circa 1460, is interesting because it's a barboot which lacked protection for the lower part of the face. The barboot is sometimes called the barboot sallet because, like the 15th century sallet, it doesn't enclose the whole head, offering most of its protection to the top. Unlike the barboot, however, the sallet is often characterized by a reinforced forehead plate and an elongated pivoted nape defense. It is, however, difficult to differentiate between the barboot, the sallet, and the bassinet. The shallow barboot resembles the sallet, while the deep barboot resembles the bassinet. Then again, who really cares? The steel armor feels smooth and cool. The suit of armor feels like cold steel and it sounds hollow. Seems rather strange to be petting a dog wearing armor, doesn't it? The armour of Anne de Montmorency, Constable of France, worn at the Battle of San Quentin on August 10, 1577. Thin and comparatively light, 50 pounds, it was worn by a man of 64 years, which was quite old for that time. This armour is a 3/4 fighting suit. Its illustrious occupant met his death at the Siege of Saint-Denis in 1567, at which time the armour came into the possession of the first Earl of Pembroke, who led the English knights into battle. Maximilian armour, Germany, circa 1514. Made for a man about 6 feet 4 inches tall, with a chest measurement of 54 inches. Knights came in all sizes, and some suits of armour were for knights 7 feet tall. This unique banner, which belonged to the Earl of Cholmondeley, bears the motto Virtus tutissima capis, which means virtue is the surest helmet. Unfortunately, the Earl didn't live very long after he came up with this motto. He lost his mind when a common foot soldier kicked him in the head after he fell off his horse. He was wearing full plate armour, except for his helmet. His friends had warned him about not wearing a helmet, but the Earl was known to be quite headstrong. Addled by the blow to his head, the Earl walked straight into the River Thames. Since plate armour doesn't float very well, the Earl of Cholmondeley immediately sank to the bottom of the river and was never seen again. In fact, he's probably still there. The Earl of Carlisle's motto at the top of this flag reads, Volo non valeo, which means willing but not able. Mottos could be constantly changed or abandoned at the pleasure of the arms-bearer. This banner, identified with the English Baron of Bath, shows signs of having had its motto changed several times. Some of the Baron of Bath's motto attempts translated as Take a bath, we enjoy a hot bath, we need a bath, and don't forget to wash behind your ears. After 30 years of indecision, they finally settled on You need a bath, which declared their view on how much the king needed the support of their family. This striped heraldic banner belonged to Sir Hors d'Oeuvres, the French Baron of Beef. His family motto on the upper part of his banner was Hors de combat, which, although it sounded fierce, actually meant out of the battle. This was not a family known for its fierce warriors, although it did produce several excellent interior designers. A heraldic flag of the late 12th century decorated with fleur-de-lis. Flags existed well before the development of heraldry, but by the time that heraldry was becoming systematized, some flags were so large that they were mounted on wagons in order to be displayed and transported. The first banner of the Earl of Scarborough Fair, the upper portion of which is decorated with sprigs of parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Their family motto was Muris Annius Conscientia Fana, which translates to, A found conscience is a wall of brass. Don't ask what it means. The banner of the Earl of Roslin, who placed the following Latin motto over his family crest, Illeso lumine solem, which means, view with sight unhurt the meridian sun. After he wrote the motto for his banner, the Earl of Roslin went blind from staring at the sun too much. The banner of the Marquess of Stafford. The motto on a scroll at the top of the flag reads, Frangus non flectes, which means, you may break but shall not bend me. The Marquess of Stafford was considered a very stubborn and inflexible person. This is one of several flags of the Baron of Winchelsea-on-Avon, who could never make up his mind which banner he preferred. Their family motto was Nil consciere sibi, which translates into English as conscious of no guilt. Apparently they were only guilty when they were unconscious. The banner of the Viscount Maynard. While some mottos were battle cries or expressions of loyalty, others referred to a badge device or crest associated with the bearer's family. The motto on this flag is Manus Justa Nardus, which means, the just hand is like a precious ointment. This is a reference to the hand appearing on their coat of arms, as well as to their family name. A round periwinkle blue window of a type often called a rose window. Surviving examples of 14th century armour are rare. This armour is from Chalcis circa 1400, showing a decorative fabric covering riveted to the plates. It has a fine globose brigandine with a deep skirt built of large-shaped plates. The suit of armour is empty. A fine example of Maximilian armour, made in Germany in 1505. The steel has a characteristic silvery colour. Maximilian armour was first used in Milan, which set the fashion for all Europe in matters of dress and armour. The armour of Alessandro Farnese, Duke of Parma, circa 1570. It was made by Lucio Piccinino, master armourer of the Renaissance. Elaborately decorated, this fine suit was presented to Archduke Ferdinand of the Tyrol in 1579, who kept it at Castle Ambras. The armour of Gallio de Genouillac, 1465 to 1546, distinguished member of one of the great feudal families of France, who served as a warrior under Charles VIII and was master of artillery for Louis XII and Francis I. The structural features of the Genouillac armour, dated 1527, indicate that it was made by an armourer who knew every trick of the art. The helmet and colleton offered complete protection for the head, and every surface is curved to deflect arrow, lance and sword. The helmet also has vision slits, ample for sight yet narrow enough to prevent a weapon from entering. The helmet is reinforced with a forehead plate and a rondelle in the nape of the neck, a weak spot in the human anatomy. An Italian suit of armour circa 1470. The plates are skillfully modelled. The helmet is of a type known as a salade, introduced in Italy and Germany. The salade helmet was elongated and pointed in the rear, normally worn with a neck and face defense called a mentonnier. The mentonnier's lower section was fastened to the breastplate and protected the neck, while the hinged upper part cupped high enough to protect the chin, nose and cheekbones. A house pet, tastefully prepared for battle in 16th century armour. A rare 17th century English tapestry which tells the story of Teutonic warrior cockroaches that crossed into England from Germany and besieged the castle of Rochford-on-Essex. Although the cockroaches managed to storm the castle walls after a 90-day siege, the knights of the castle managed to squash the invaders when they reached the castle's inner keep. Since that great battle, the castle of Rochford-on-Essex has been free of cockroaches. Unfortunately, it has also been free of humans. 1 year after the great battle, everyone in the castle died of the plague. Shortly afterward, the castle fell into disrepair and sank into the swamp. Nice warp and woof in the fabric. They're too high for you to magnify. Up close, the suit of armor looks scratched. A close look at the armor reveals a heraldic device of a fierce beaver rampant on a chevron above the motto, "Forward." A small label indicates that this Scottish dog armour belonged to Lord Balfour, 1st Earl of Fife.